Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Chapter 122 of Riyadh as-Saliheen. Half of the Nawawi, may Allah have mercy upon him, says, Babu tahrimi libas al-hariri ala rijali wa tahrimi julusihim alayhi wa istinadihim ilayhi wa jawazi libsihi lin-nisa. Chapter 122 speaks on the impermissibility for men to wear silk. Men are prohibited from wearing garments, clothing of silk. Secondly, he says, وَتَحْرِيمِ جُلُوسِهِمْ عَلَيْهِ, and the impermissibility for men to sit upon silk. A chair of silk, a pillow of silk, a cushion of silk, a saddle of silk on a horse. You aren't allowed to sit upon silk. وَاسْتِنَادِهِمْ إِلَيْهِ, and you can't lean upon it and recline on it. A sofa, a couch, a cushion. If your wife has a silk blanket or a cover or a sheet, you cannot lie upon it. It's haram for you to have physical contact in which your body is on it, leaning on it. All right? Even if you're not wearing it. As far as if someone else is wearing a woman, then that's a different story. He says, وَجَوَازِ لِبْسِهِ لِلنِّسَاءِ, and the permissibility for women to wear silk. The exact opposite. It's lawful for them to enjoy silk and to wear silk. That isn't prohibited upon them. عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تلبسوا الحرير فإن من لبسه في الدنيا لم يلبسه في الآخرة متفق عليه. وعنه أنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما يلبس الحرير من لا خلاق له متفق عليه. وفي رواية للبخاري من لا خلاق له في الآخرة. قوله من لا خلاق له أي لا نصيب له. وعن أنس رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من لبس الحرير في الدنيا لم يلبسه في الآخرة متفق عليه. وعن علي رضي الله عنه أنه قال رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أخذ حريرا فجعله في يمينه وذهبا فجعله في شماله ثم قال إن هذين حرام على ذكور أمتي. رواه أبو داود بإسناد حسن. وعن أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال حرم لباس الحرير والذهب على ذكور أمتي وأحل لإناثهم. رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن صحيح. وعن حذيفة رضي الله عنه أنه قال نهى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن نشرب في آنية الذهب والفضة وأن نأكل فيها وعن لبس الحرير والديباج وأن نجلس عليه. رواه البخاري. So the first hadith is reported by Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not wear silk. لا تلبسوا الحرير. Don't wear silk. فإنه من لبسه في الدنيا. Whoever wears silk in this world shall not wear it in the hereafter. And the hadith is in Sahih Bukhari and in Sahih Muslim. Umar radiallahu anhu also narrated that I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, إنما يلبس الحرير من لا خلق له. The only ones who wear silk are those who have nothing in the hereafter. They have no portion, no slice, they have no space, they have no piece of the afterlife. And that hadith is also in Bukhari and Muslim. And another version in Sahih Bukhari, he who has no portion in the afterworld. طيب. Anas radiallahu anhu narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man labisa al-harira fi dunya, whoever wears silk in this world will not wear it in the hereafter. And the hadith is in the Sahihain as well. Ali radiallahu anhu narrated, one day I saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taking a piece of silk, placing it in his right hand, and then some gold in his left hand. And he said, these two things are haram upon the males of my ummah. Dhukuri ummati. The men of my nation cannot enjoy these two things. This hadith is collected by Imam Abu Dawood with a fair chain of narration. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, حُرِّمَ لِبَاسُ الْحَرِيرِ وَالذَّهَبِ عَلَى ذُكُورِ أُمَّتِي. He says, wearing silk and gold is prohibited for the men of my nation, وَأُحِلَّ لِإِنَاثِهِمْ, and lawful for the women of my nation. And this hadith is also collected by Imam at-Tirmidhi, who said it is Hasan Sahih. Hudayfa radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nahan Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forbade us from drinking from silver vessels, silver goblets, silver chalices, silver cups. We aren't allowed to drink a teapot, a soup bowl, nothing of silver. You are not allowed to enjoy anything from silver when it comes to eating and drinking. And when نأكل فيها, for us to drink or eat from any silver platter or plate or bowl or cup or goblet. وعن لبس الحرير والديباج, and for us to wear silk, thin silk and thick silk, regardless of the nature of the silk. وَنَجْلِسَ عَلَيْهِ, and he forbade us from sitting upon silk. And that hadith is in Sahih al-Bukhari. All of these authentic hadiths are clear. The meaning is clear, is that men aren't allowed to wear silk. Women are allowed to wear silk. Men aren't allowed to wear gold. Women are allowed to wear gold. And this chapter goes on to show us, like many other chapters, is that there is a such thing as Islamic clothing. And that Islam pertains to a person's life from beginning until end. Literally, the cradle to the grave. Every step and phase in a human being's life, the Quran and the Sunnah gives us guidance and instruction. Guidance and instruction for everything that we do. And Islam isn't just a religion, and it isn't just a faith, but it's a way of life and a way of death. And it includes how you dress, what you wear, how you buy it. It includes the rulings of taking off your clothes, being undressed, who can see your body parts, etc. All of this is a part of Islam. And of course the non-Muslims today and the people who help them out from the munafiqun of this ummah, unfortunately, and Muslims who may not be munafiqun but they're scared and terrified, they're working hard at this, at chipping away at Islam and shaving it down and whitewashing it, and to make it as pretty and simple as they possibly can, and to strip it of substance. They want to strip Islam of the substance, like a vegetable. You cook it, you do this, you add this, and the nutrients, there's nothing left in the vegetable. It's just green. But the iron that was once in the spinach, this vitamin, that vitamin has all been taken away. And the different things that you put in it and how you cooked it is gone. It's nothing left. So it looks like a piece of broccoli or a piece of spinach, but in reality it's nothing more than something green. And that's what they want. They want Islam just to be a faith in your heart. They want Islam to be a religion in which you pray, you fast, you mind your business, you make hajj, and then khalas, that's it. What you do for a living, who your friends are, who you marry, this, that, no, that's extreme. That's fundamentalism. That's Wahhabism. That's this and that's that. That's what they want. And when we read these books, we can clearly see that that is not what Islam is. Islam is practical, it's 3D, it's hands-on, every single aspect of your life. And from that is what you can and cannot wear. Now, what are the wisdoms that are known to us, why men aren't allowed to wear silk? Scholars of Islam say is that silk is unbefitting for a man, and that it leads to some type of femininity. And a man isn't supposed to be but so soft. Okay? He's allowed to have certain things. You can wear different fabrics, countless fabrics you can wear. Cotton, wool, cashmere, this and that, no problem. But silk is a fine fabric, and they say that silk is a fabric of arrogance. It's a fabric of pride. And the same applies to gold in contrast to silver. Men are allowed to wear silver. Gold is a whole different story. So they say that the Muslim man, no matter how handsome, mashallah, he's still supposed to be a little rough. And we've explained this before, right? We talked about this. No matter how well you look, no matter how nice, but you still have to have some ruggedness. And the moment you're absolutely 100% clean, polished, perfect, you've imitated the opposite sex. And you've imitated the disbelievers. So with your color coordinated, your iron clothes, everything's nice, something from you has to be a little what? Just a little rugged. Just a little rugged. All right? And a woman is the only one that's allowed to be absolutely polished from head to toe. That's it. A man is never ever supposed to be absolutely perfect and polished from head to toe. Something has to stick out with some manliness, with some roughness. And obviously silk doesn't allow you to do that. The pride and the arrogance that comes along with silk. And Allah knows best the other wisdoms. Now the scholars of Islam say is that there are times which men are allowed to wear silk. Such as, anybody know? Sickness. What else? Hospital. When is a man allowed to wear silk? Some scholars say that men are allowed to wear silk in warfare, during fighting. And that's because fighting is one of the times in which you're allowed to have pride.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have some pride when you fight. So now obviously this is back in the day now, a little ancient, when people, they use projectiles, a bow and arrow. All right, and oftentimes arrows were poison tipped. They had poison on them, on the tip. So if you got shot, not only would you be wounded by the arrow, or the blood being in the bone marrow, if it hit your breastplate, your ribs, and your bloodstream, but it'll be poison, which lead to an agonizing death. So different warriors in the past, they would wear silk under their armor. Whatever the armor was, metal, whether it was from leather, whether it was from wood, they would put on a silk tunic. And the silk tunic would allow the poison to be absorbed before it hit your bloodstream. It's a fact. So therefore, some scholars say that if you put this on to prevent yourself from having that type of poison and allowing the arrowhead to be taken out easily, it will be lawful. All right? Sicknesses, certain skin conditions in which silk is the only fabric that a person is allowed to wear. And some scholars say, as that story in which the Messenger of Allah allowed his Sahaba to wear the silk because of their skin, they were suffering of their skin. Some scholars say, is that unlawful things can be used for medical necessity. Unlawful things can be used for medical necessity. So the question is khamr allowed to be used for medicine? The Prophet ﷺ clearly said that it is an illness itself. It can't be used as a medicine. All right? But today, the concept of medicinal marijuana, can a person use medicinal marijuana? Can a person smoke or vape marijuana because they have a terminal sickness, a chronic illness that causes them a great deal of pain? All right? Or are you allowed to take the medicines that the doctors give you, a Percocet, which is heavy dose and causes addiction and causes you to basically be high? Is that lawful? Because of extreme pain and extreme sickness. What's important is there are some times in which silk is allowed for a man to wear, but that is only the exception. And that isn't the rule to start off with, the default, the asl. The asl is as-Saliheen is haram. The next issue is it lawful for a man to wear a blend of silk? For sure, the pure silk is unlawful. But can I wear a shirt which has 30% silk in it? Or 20% silk? Or 40% silk? Or 50-50? Is that lawful? Like gold. Can I wear a gold-plated watch? Or gold-plated ring? The solid gold, no doubt, is haram, impermissible. But can I have a coating of gold? Is that lawful? Is the mixed silk lawful or not? That's a discussion. But for sure, the pure silk is impermissible. Now, last but not least is, can a man purchase silk and possess silk? You buy your wife a nightgown, a shirt. You buy your wife a scarf. You buy your wife some socks. And are you allowed to feel and to touch that silk as she's wearing it? These are some of the issues pertaining to this, right? Wallahu ta'ala alam. And last but not least, this goes to show that in Islam, the unlawful things are always limited. And the lawful things are always unlimited. What you can't wear is limited. The meats that you can't eat are what? You can count them. But the meats that you can eat, what? Tfaddal. The things that you can't drink are limited. You can't drink wine. You can drink water, juice, tea, coffee, hot cocoa. Tfaddal. You can drink whatever you want as long as it isn't this haram thing. Right? So this goes to show that Islam isn't a religion of a million rules and everything is difficult and everything's haram. Limited things. Nah? Limited things. We should pass on this message. I'm sure we all know family members who do wear silk. Men who do wear silk. Show them this proof and this evidence, and that is a major sin. And when the Prophet ﷺ says, La khalaqa lahu, la nasiba lahu, there's no portion in hereafter, does that mean that they'll go to hell? What's meant by that? Whoever wears silk now won't wear it then. Does that mean that they won't go to Jannah? What do you think?
Me?
And no, not you, Sheikh. What do you think? Huh?
What do you think?
يلا شيخ ايش عندكم؟
أنا؟ I think
يعني دخل النار؟
لا.
لا يدخل.
They will not be able to wear it in Jannah.
In Jannah, they won't wear it in Jannah.
Yeah, they might be wearing some other clothes, not the finery clothes that, silk.
Hamza. طيب وَلِبَاسُهُمْ فِيهَا. So Allah tells us that in Jannah the people wear what? Silk. So if you go to Jannah, everybody else is wearing silk except for you. How are you going to feel?
Yeah.
Mushkila or not?
Can you wish to wear something else? Like in Jannah, you can wish whatever you want.
Right now we're going to have a party. Right? In the masjid, in Aqiqah. Everybody gets the goat meat. And I'll bring you just rice. How would you feel? Would you feel good? Or would you feel some type of way?
Yeah.
Which one? How would you feel?
He will take Adyan's.
It'd be a problem or not?
Problem, yeah.
Listen, everybody in the masjid, they get a plate full of rice, salad, and fresh goat meat. And I'll just bring you a plate with rice. How would you feel as a human?
Not respected enough.
You'll feel sad?
Yeah.
You'll feel, right? Prejudice, right? So why don't I get any meat? So the next question is, in paradise, is there any sadness?
There's no sadness.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%.
لا خوف عليهم.
In Jannah.
Right, so in paradise there's no sadness.
Right.
So how can he go to Jannah and be sad? Think about this now. Step by step.
Right.
He who wears, like the hadith, who drinks khamr in this world, won't drink it in what? In hereafter. And Jannah wine or not?
No.
There's a river of wine, rivers of wine.
Right.
So how can he go to Jannah and be prevented from something that everyone else has? Except that he will feel some and experience some what?
Grief.
La shak fi dhalik. And Allah Azza wa Jalla clearly mentions that they will have what? No grief. So some ulama, they say what's meant by this hadith is that he will not go to Jannah. It's impossible for him to go to Jannah and then be deprived of the clothing of Jannah. Alright, now obviously a Muslim who dies making a major sin, he's still a Muslim, according to what we believe. But it shows you the threat. Al-Wa'id. The severe threat of drinking alcohol and of wearing what? Silk. And the hadith says he will not what? They won't smell the fragrance of?
Jannah.
No one comes along and says, I'll go to Jannah, but I just won't be able to smell it. La, laysa hakidha. Because the fragrance of Jannah can be experienced from what? So, fiqh al-nusus, the proper understanding of the text is something that's interesting to think about and the danger of it. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Sure.